All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out for everybody so we can get started here. Might be the volume might actually be a little better for everybody here. We'll have to take a look at that here. Let me get this tweeted out. I should have put the little thing in there, the little hashtag for live streaming. But good stuff. Let's see how this looks. Go to the live control room. I need to figure that out. Let's click that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. I think we are good here. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Just want to make sure everything's going good with the audio and all that. Can everybody hear me okay? It might be a little louder than normal because we have the upgraded system today. My other computer, my prior system, couldn't even load charts today on Thinkorswim. I was like, I need to get a new system, so we upgraded today, and so you might hear a little bit clearer audio and hopefully a little bit faster. So good stuff. Plus, I'm really excited about our guest this weekend, and I want to make sure I have a good system that doesn't cut him off when we're talking, and I'll talk about that later as we get to the close here. Before we get started, though, let me just give me 1 second. Let me Shirley sent me some stock ideas here that we're going to go over, so let me just copy those so I don't forget and put those in there. So there we go. So we get this. So give me just 2 seconds here as I do this, and then we'll finish up with Livermore today. And go from there. Alright, so let me do that. So let me get Shirley stocks in there. Okay. She's good. Here. Awesome. Cool. Good. Yeah, I'm pumped. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Alright, well good. Well, so as we get started here, just real quick, as usual, we're going to talk about trading like Livermore. So everything we talk about today is for educational purposes only and not for investment advice. So just please take a few moments to review the disclaimer here before we get started. Okay, and if you're watching the recording, you pause it and just read it. Okay, so take a look at that, and then here's what we're going to do. We're going to switch over here and just kind of go over the market real quick and see where we're at. So yeah. Okay, so here is the market. Okay, so this is what we have. So we have the monthly chart right here, right? This kind of gives us a macro perspective of it. We're pretty early in to September, right? So back in July, right, we had this top. It's amazing it's already September, isn't it? But topping tail back off the upper Bollinger Band right here, right? And then that was the 31st of July was when Powell spoke, right? Fed meeting, and gave his press conference, and that started sending the market down that day, right? So it was probably up here, and then it was down there at the end of the day. That kind of left things a little bit ominous, I guess, going into the next month, right? So we ended up having this huge push down, right? And then for a little bit, came back up, then it pushed down again, and then kind of finished with a kind of this red hammer right here, right? So pretty interesting. When you look at this chart, it's like, does this really look like a bear market? I mean, we're nowhere even close to this. I mean, we didn't even tag the monthly 50 MA, right? So far the monthly chart, is green, kind of coming into this month. Weekly chart, right? Remember this consolidation zone, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, right? So and then we were kind of in there yesterday. We were still inside, right? And now look where we are. We boom, just broke through that, right? And this is how we did it. We gapped above it, right? So what does that do today? It makes it a gap and go day, right? So if we just kind of just look at these levels, right? All this resistance right here, right on those charts, right? We're, big resistance, right? What happens when you gap above it? Well, anybody who is short here, right? They start covering, right? So that kind of starts to push things up, right, to the upside, right? So that's where we get this big move. And so when we look at, I'm going to show you here on the the 5-minute chart here. I mean, look at what we did today. This is where we were. A bit of a move up, and then boom, gap up like that. So everybody who is short, right, way back yonder, is like, oh, I need to cover. Right, and you can say this is the price action that we look at. These are the levels that we use intraday. Wasn't too much up here, right? We did have a, kind of a daily pivot type level, right? But we gapped up here to, this is tomorrow stuff. We were nothing. I mean, there was barely anything, right? We were at the weekly levels. We were R3. We gapped over all that. That's a buy, right, at the open, right? And so that's what happened, right? So big push up, basically inside bar right here at the 15 orb high, and then, big move to the open, right? That's a gap and go right there, pure technical gap and go. So pretty amazing stuff on that. Here, if we look at the daily chart, this is what we did, right? So, remember resistance, 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 resistance. Look what it did. Gapped above it all. So I don't want to mess with all that stuff. So now it's not like it broke through it and be like, oh, maybe it'll pull. Now it could pull back and test and then work its way up. This is very powerful. This is a big stance right here, saying, this is we want up, right? We want to test the top of this channel here, like 30. Oh yeah, 30.50 up there, possible, right? So you can see here, futures are green. I mean, so this is a very bullish move. This is one of those things that Livermore would have talked about, right? These big gap ups, right? If volume, you can't see volume here on SPX, but if volume day type thing, this is a good place to start loading up on, right? Start checking it out. So yeah, futures strong, going into Friday. We could have a very interesting Friday. So lots of these last Fridays have been very, very interesting. So that's basically it. That's where we're at in the market. So good stuff. All right, well, let's take a look. Let's see where we're at with the discussion here today. So today, so we are going to go to, yesterday we talked about the pivotal point. That's really interesting. Okay, so today, pretty simple discussion today. Really, it's kind of really wraps up and concludes Jesse Livermore's book, How to Trade in Stocks. Right. So he kind of just gave some examples here, of a couple different things that we're just going to kind of chat about real quick. So the $1 million blunder, and then it actually was a $3 million profit that he had that he's going to talk about. So, and it's actually pretty funny that it's like the $3 million profit. It's like, really, but pretty interesting stuff. The blunder is interesting. Okay. So one of the things he talks about, right, and this is just this is not part of the blunder. I know it's kind of topical right here, but he did talk about this. We mentioned it earlier too. So talking about scaling into a position, right, it's a little bit more complex with options, right, because with options, we work with, we have to get our timing right, we have to get momentum right, right, and we have to get direction right, right. So we got three things where all we have to do with shares is get the direction right. So it's a little bit different. So we have to look at shorter time frames when we deal with options, a lot of the time, and sometimes it can go really fast, right? So it's tough to add to positions, when you're day trading, right? So, but what he's talking about here is if you want to buy 500 shares of a company, right? If you want to say you want to buy 500 shares of Apple, right? He's saying before you load up on 500 shares, put 100 shares out there to test. Okay, to test that position, right? And then add 100 if the judgment is correct. And we talked about that yesterday, right? So we talked about, just for instance, like Roku, right? So if we go to the daily chart here on Roku, we talked about, okay, here, like initially, right? Let's say we're at this stage in the game, right? So big volume day, big gap up, right? And so this is, instead of buying 500 shares of Roku right here, maybe buy 100, right? So you buy 100 shares right there, and you wait and test the waters, right? Okay, well, it kind of pulled back a little bit, so you're not killing your position. Oh, it's pulling back a little bit more, but is it that bad? Not really. It's decreasing volume, right? Okay, a couple up days, right? But nothing bad on the down day, right? Still okay. Okay, still showing some strength here. Okay, let's say we had this level right here, or this kind of this key 88 level right there. Let's say we got above that. Okay, a little bit of increased volume. Okay, maybe add another 100 shares there. Okay, oh, that's good. Oh, but it pulled back. But let's see how bad the pullback is. Oh, it kind of hung in there a little bit of pullback. So there you go. Oh, and then it went up again. So now you got 200 shares up here, right, from 85 to 100, right? So that's pretty good. And this kind of went up on volume. Maybe, okay, it's looking pretty strong. Maybe buy another 100 shares right there. This is what he's talking about. You don't have to have 500 right here and keep your fingers crossed, right? You can kind of put in these positions, right, with the strategy. Okay, so now you got 300 shares here. Okay, well, it's looking pretty good. Going down on decreasing volume, that's nothing to really worry about. That's not a danger signal. Oh, up again on some increased volume. Okay, kind of pause a little bit. Down on decreased volume. Kind of pause in here. Oh, it's at 105, guys, already. Yeah, pretty amazing stuff, right? A little bit of a warning signal right here. A little bit of a pullback on increased volume. But, okay, there's a big pushback. Okay, but where are we, right? We're still at 100 shares here and 100 shares here. We're only really down on this 100 shares. Okay, so, if it breaks below this level, maybe, oh, that's kind of scary. Let's see, inside day, pushing down, hold that level, held that level. Oh, it's coming back up. Okay. So really, the only thing that was in threat was this 100, right? You're kind of flat on this one, and now you're good. Now you're good on all of them, right? So this is big volume. This is up on big volume right here. So you got 300 shares. Okay, pause. Right, and this is long-term type trading, right? And even could have bought on this, right? So we still have going down on decreasing volume, right? And then we gap up. Okay, so nice move up. How about another 100 shares there? Okay, look at that, all the way up there. I mean, at this point, you're up 50 points, in the trade, and then you haven't even put on the full position yet, but you're still profiting, pretty major. So that's what he's talking about there. That's what he's talking about. So scale into position. That's what he's saying. So, and then the other thing he kind of mentioned too is this is, he kind of reflects back and he's talking about studying, right? Study. Carefully review a chart and its price action, right? Over the last several weeks around a pivotal point. So if you get to one of those pivotal points that we were talking about before, right? Something that gets tested a lot, like here, right? This is key. So say he's looking to add some more in this position. You got 300 in here, okay? So, at this kind of pivotal point right here, it tested here. It came back and tested here. So observe this price action. See what it does, right? If it pushes below that level, right, something's wrong. Something's wrong with this stock. But if it holds, look at that, back to the pivotal point and up, right? So that's what he's saying. Okay. So from there, so keep reviewing that, and then so this is his $1 million blender that he was talking about. So he found he was like buying cotton, right? And he wanted to get in one price. And he was looking for a breakout level he was trying to get, but he wanted to get in a little bit early. And so he tried one time, right? Then it pulled back a little bit and he exited the position. Then it got up to that level again, right? And then he bought, and then it pulled back a little bit. He exited the position. I think he did it like 3 times or something like that. And he was finally out. He's like, nope, I'm done. I'm never trading cotton again, right? It was the thing he said. And he's like, I'm never trading this thing again. And of course, right, what happens, and this has probably happened to all of us, right, whenever we try to trade a breakout that doesn't work, and then we try it a couple times, doesn't work, what happens? You look at it 3 days later, and the thing launched like $20 or 20 points or whatever the case is. And so that's exactly what happened to him. So he ended up losing on this trade, this cotton trade, $200,000, right? And back then, that's a ton of money, right? I mean, it's a lot these days too, but I mean, it's a ton of money. And so, and he's just like, it gets you down, right? And then he walks away and he looks back up, and a couple weeks later, the thing's up like 50 points, or 20 points, whatever the case is. And so, like, not only did he lose 200,000, but there was, based on his position, even his original position, he would have been up $1 million, right? And so, I mean, that's just horrible. So it says, he lost, literally was down 200 grand in his account. And then if he just held, or had the right entry, he would have been up $1 million. I mean, it's just incredible stuff. And so so that's what he's talking about here. So he's just saying that. And so what he's saying is avoid the early entries, right? If you see it going, like, don't, if you're getting to a breakout point, right, wait till you get that confirmation over the breakout point, right? So if we go back to Roku, right? I mean, it's just such a great example for this this study, right? I mean, so if he's just trying to get over, this level here, maybe, right? So say he entered here, okay. Right? Well, it pulled back and he's down, and maybe he sold out of the position. Then it came up again to try to break out. Oh no, he's down on that position, and then it's like, oh, boom, it did this. Oops. So you missed that breakout, lost all this money, done, and then it gaps up, right? So it's just like, okay. Instead of waiting on this, what he's saying is wait for the move, right? Wait for it to start, things to go. Let's wait for some volume to come in, right? And so so that's what he's saying. So now out of your position here or buy it here, right? That's what he's talking about. So that's what he's saying. And that's it. And then beware of insider information. It was kind of neat. He made this in all all caps, and I was going to put it there, and I was like, anyway. But beware of any insider information. Better to do the work yourself, right? So what he's talking about is like if somebody, if somebody comes up to you and is like, he's like a manager at a company or something, say, oh man, this company, we're going to do great. It's going to go up. You should really get in it. That type of thing. And he's lost money doing that too. And it turns out that like these guys will continue to say good information even if things are going bad because they want to cover their, they want to show face, they want to save face with themselves and all that stuff. And meanwhile, they're selling shares of their company, and it's like that type of stuff. So what he said there is he's obviously been hurt on that. Enough where he was like, nope, do the work yourself, research, look at the charts, study. So to avoid those type of blunders. Okay. And then the $1 million profit is kind of funny. It was actually a $3 million profit. But one of the things he was talking about is basically saying let winners run, right? So if your strategy is designed in such a way that you can let these winners run, like when they do, then that's key, right? The turtles, right? If we talked about that a couple weeks ago, so that, let the winners run. That's really where the big profits come in, is when they run, right? And then one of the example he gave in the book was like he had this big position, and it's something that could never happen today. It was like because there was like a broker on the other end who's like, oh no, yeah, I just filled your order here because there was so much stuff at the market at the open, like you ended up having a good price there, that type of thing. So he ended up making like $3 million on that trade. But really, what it was really kind of the idea is to get these big wins, right, is to scale into those positions, right, and let the winners run. So I mean, basically Roku, and it's funny, I talk to some folks all the time now. It's just like, man, because we traded this, we're day traders and we trade for cash flow, right? I mean, at least that's that's what some of us do, right? So we like to pay bills, right, weekly, and if we can get, a couple big wins, that is a little bit extra, right, which is always fun. And so what we have here, this is a great day, right? This is an awesome trading day for us, right? We gapped up, nice move, gap and go, right? It was a good trading day, right? And then there's a couple others that were good. It was like a downgrade. Roku's been good to us, right? It's given some good intraday technical setups, and so. So that's really, really good stuff. But one of the things that he's saying, right, is to if we can scale into these positions, right, and kind of do it that way, it can really be pretty explosive, and pretty profitable. So so good stuff. A couple different some good thoughts here that we've had this week on Livermore, and it's kind of neat, kind of getting to know kind of the way he traded and how he looked at stocks. I think the pivotal points are really interesting. We look at those as support and resistance, maybe double bottom, triple bottom, and all that stuff. But it was kind of more interesting to see how he kind of tactically handled like those levels, right, and what it really meant to him. It's like, if this is a key level right here, if it starts to go up, right, is that am I ready to start taking a position in that, right? And are the pullbacks bad, right? Here you have low volume on these pullbacks, right? That type of stuff. You have big volume on the on the stuff going forward. So even today, right? We had a little bit of a pullback today, but it was less volume than yesterday. That gave the all-time high. I mean, that Roku is still hot. So pretty interesting stuff. So hope you guys found that helpful and interesting. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those into the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can. Try to wrap up before 10:30, so we can all have a good night's sleep and have a good Friday. And keep in mind, tomorrow is Friday, so if you have Robinhood, obviously you can't trade tomorrow's expirations. But if you don't, just be careful. If you accidentally hold one over the weekend, you could get assigned. So just always be careful with that. So. Good stuff. Nick, what's happening? What's up? Amgen, yeah, let's take a look. So AMGN. Let's see what we got going on here. Woo. Had kind of a big move up here, even after move up in earnings, and a huge move up there on big volume, right? A bit of a kind of a bullish flag that it did here, and then break out again. So it's kind of retesting these levels and kind of working its way up. So I mean, obviously the trend is up. We kind of look here. It's pretty tight here before that. So yeah, trend is up until proven otherwise, really. So it's kind of keep an eye on that. Like, it's continuing to test a couple of these pivots back here. So the more we can get over that, the better, right? Cool one. Hey, what's going on? Amazon. Let's take a look. Amazing Amazon. Kind of breaking out of this whole consolidation stuff too. We talked yesterday a little bit on Twitter about yesterday's bar, being kind of like this pause bar, consolidation bar. I mean, the range was only 11 points, right, on Amazon, right? So we haven't, even this range here was 14, this was 13, right? So it was really, really a narrow range day. So the question is, what do we have? Basically like kind of like a doji sandwich type thing. So up, pause, up, measured move, right? So that's kind of the concept right there. So it's pretty interesting to see what Amazon was doing. It's weird that it kind of closed towards the lows, right? But that's kind of a cute little way to be like, oh no, this is getting really bearish, and then just, gap and pop, right? And then it took out this level, and this level. So at this point, it's really bullish, right? I mean, obviously futures are up and all that stuff, but could consolidate a little bit and then might retest those levels and then go. But it's got lots of levels to take out. It does have this kind of macro downward trend line that it would be nice to see to get over. But right now, it's definitely working its way up. So very, very nice stuff. Good, Nick. Awesome. Glad it sounds good. Harvey, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Cool one. Excellent voice. Thank you. Sarah, good evening. Wendy, good morning. Hope everything's going well. Oh, Shirley Stocks. Let's take a look. ATUS. Hope you're doing well, Shirley. Don't forget, you can create another Gmail account and log into these. Just have to post just the numbers, not the targets and all that stuff, so it doesn't look spammy, right? ATUS is looking pretty good. Obviously, the move is up. Shirley is like almost like a model Livermore trader, right? She knows how to find these ones that are moving, right? So we looked at this one back here, nice bull flag up, kind of consolidated here at this key level, right? Pivotal point, pivotal point, pivotal point. That start working, moving its way up, right? Nice move up here on big volume, right? And then definitely interested in that. I mean, it's really it's always fun to see this stuff, big volume days and then continuing. Love it. Even here, it's like, when with earnings, it's like if you're good, it's like, yeah, earnings guys up, it's fine. Pull back a little bit. Okay, everything's good. Yeah, Altis is looking good. Altis, if I'm ATUS. ABGO. Little Broadcom. Actually, yeah, this thing. So you can see this thing's been pretty complicated here. I'm gonna clear through all that stuff. Okay, so it still looks complicated. Goodness. I mean, there's this to here to this minor. It got over all these minor pivots, which is good. So yeah, as long as it holds this level, basically as long as it holds 290, surely it could continue to try, right? So they've got earnings coming up too. So just be careful of that if you're holding through earnings. We'll see how the that acquisition goes of what was that, the Cisco, or not Cisco, Symantec. Just see how that goes. Wow, SPY, surely. Look at this, guys. That was that pivot right there, minor pivot right there. Look at that, pushed right through it today. Actually gapped up, came down, tested it, and then back up, and then forming a hammer today on the day. Pretty impressive stuff on that. So yeah, good volume today too. Very, very nice. And then, so yeah, that could be good. And then QQQ. Similar, right? I think it's even through these levels, yeah. Yeah, this is a big deal. Over today's highs could be good for QQQ. ECA. Oh, yeah, $4. Goodness gracious. I used to love to trade this stock. Way back yonder. It used to really set up really nicely, but gosh, look at that, how it's been traveling with these fib fan lines down. Yeah, I mean, so it's taken a real big beating, here. I mean, really, really big, surely. So it's kind of at these levels. It's over this volumetric level. It's over the fib fan line. I mean, it could start to work its way up to that $5.65, but man, it's been beaten up real bad. And then rig. The Rigmeister. Interesting stuff there. I'm going to remove that. Let's put this here. Start tracking a new fib fan on this. There. Let's kind of see how it does. Yeah, it's very similar. Kind of broke above. It could start to work its way up to that other fib fan line too. Nice chart, Shirley. So yeah, just be careful with AVGO with earnings. Enjoy the apparel. Good evening, Manoj. Good to see you. W XOM MA. W. Yeah, W. Yeah, I remember this. It didn't go so well, did it? Yeah, it's still kind of going down there. Let's see. Let's take a look here. This low. I mean, trend is down until proven otherwise. In fact, it looks like it's bear flagging, Manoj. Look at that. Right? Can work its way there. I mean, if that starts to break down there and it gets below this 106 level, it could get ugly. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. Look at that. And that's got a big volume gap in there, a big air pocket in there, too. So careful of that one. XOM. A couple bullish days, though, but it's still within kind of that bear flag. XOM, interesting, right? How's this thing doing? Isn't it getting delisted or something like that? I can't remember, but maybe it's coming off the S&P. I'm not sure, but here, right? There's kind of your levels. So I mean, kind of macro, obviously downtrend type stuff. Here, let me remove this. Remove the trend line there. We'll put this here, low. I mean, still kind of this. Yeah, so it just got over this minor pivot right here. So it's starting to work its way up. I guess as long as it can hold that 70 level, it could get constructive. And then MA. MA is a, gosh, monster card. Doing pretty well here. Trend is up until proven otherwise. And nice gap up there too on some volume. So strong, such a strong stock. Bull flag. Up, a little bit of drop there, then up. Amazing. That's that kind of swing. That's where you need shares right there, so you don't get chopped up in that stuff, and then you're like, oh, good stuff. Beyond after hours. Yeah. Beyond's gonna be on the. Hey, session. How's it going? Yeah, Beyond after hours. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's gonna be on the radar tomorrow. It'll definitely be on the 15 orb list. I can't. What was the news that came out on that? Reuters initiates coverage. Oh, underperform. D.A. Davidson, underperform. Buzz Killington, right? So there it is down there. Let's see if it can recover. It could be pretty interesting tomorrow off the 15 orb list. So holding this volumetric level right here, 160 has been a very, very key level for it. Still has a big open gap down here. So that's kind of the key stuff. So we'll see if it breaks down. If it gets down below these levels right here, that's worth an alert. At or below. Look out below is the alert. Right, because if it breaks down there, then we could see a gap fill on that. Tesla. Yeah, so Tesla's really interesting. Let's get some of these key levels out here. Okay, so Tesla's really interesting. Yesterday it got real weak, had some bad news, filled a couple gaps, right? And then today, just kind of total counter, right? A little bit of a gap up, kind of tested down, didn't quite fill that gap right there. So there's a gap below as well, but very, very strong day for Tesla. So keep an eye on this one too. It could be interesting if we remove this drawing right here, that short term, and just go from up here to this low. Right, we start to see this kind of over all these minor pivots, right? It could start to work its way up to 270 if it gets strong, especially if it gets over here, over 233. It could be very interesting. Microsoft. Well, it's in the middle of a channel. It's in the middle of a couple channels, right? So let's see. So this is one that we have had an eye on. I'm going to catch a scalp on this recently. Okay, and that's just kind of doing its Microsoft thing, right? Still the channel, still trying to work its way up. All right, could come back down, fill some gaps, and then go. Pretty interesting stuff there. MA, we just took a look at. Cool choice on that one, and then CMG. Amazing stuff. CMG. It's kind of has a fresh channel working up here too, right? We'll just add some more stuff to the chart. Where was that? There. Just very, very bullish stuff on CMJ. It's kind of holding all these levels. I just can't believe it's that the burrito company is up to $848. So we'll see. To me, I've really enjoyed this fib fan line. It really gives some nice moves off of it. So let's see how this holds, and if it comes back to that fib fan line, it can kind of keep working its way up too. Manoj, we're on the new computer. I hope it sounds okay and looks like I think everything's moving a little bit faster, a little bit crisper, so that's good. And it hasn't. I have my stream health on it is showing perfectly green on it, which is nice. I've also direct connected because I used to run off of Wi-Fi. I also direct connected Ethernet cable to it as well, so that's giving a little bit better data, upload and download in it. So so I think we'll be good to go for Sunday. Alpesh, how's it going? Hello. SMDC4S, President accounted for. Good to see you. I know we got a little football tonight, but appreciate you. Heather, good evening. Thanks for the Facebook swing call. Yeah, that was a good one. Facebook was fun. It's just a nice setup from yesterday, so that was good stuff. Bruce, that's awesome. Yeah, new computer's doing good. Bruce WDC. And I still have to respond to your message. I think I started to. I was like, just covered up today. Once I got the system configured, I still, with the group, I do a lot of videos and, levels and stuff like that. It was like I think by the time I was done with everything, it was like 7, 8 o'clock. I was like, man, long day today. So, here's like a little cup and handle with W, and there it is. Amazing stuff. We were looking at this stuff. Here's your cup, right? Here's your handle. It tried to break out here. So this is what Jesse Livermore was talking about, right? So it's just like, you try to buy this cup and handle break here, and then it comes back down, and it's like you're down. Then you try the cup and handle break here. Oh no, it's down again. I'm down. And then you look back and you're like, oh great, there it is. That type of stuff. So it's tricky. But what was what did these kind of ended up being the key levels right here. So 58 breakout. Breakout of that level is kind of the area, right? Then it did that here this day, had an upgrade, kind of came back in, then it was up again. It's just been boom, boom, boom. So it's starting to get strong. Volume isn't really good though, but This could be shortable. WDC could be fun to short too, so just be careful with that one. Session, McDonald's. Yep, still doing its channel thing. Right? Down, working its way up. So it could work its way back up to that 228 eventually. So it just loves this channel. Grub? Oh yeah, and Grub. Yeah, both of these. How are these looking after hours? I remember seeing a little article about them that now Grub is delivering in New York. Yeah, so Grub is up after hours too. So that's definitely one to look at. McDonald's. I don't think it's really affected by it. It's like okay. So they're delivering, but that's big. That's big business for Grub. So just keep an eye on Grub here. It is up after hours on being able to deliver in New York for McDonald's. So it's up to, hit $66, which is like here. I mean, it's not really gap and go territory, but if it could get above, this like 82, 83, and these levels here, it could start to work its way back up. Hard to believe it was $150 recently, but amazing stuff. And it is annoying, right? Because you do expect, like sometimes you look at stocks, right, and you're like, all right, let me just draw a trend line here, right? And you're like, oh, okay, like I really hope this thing like goes up. If it breaks out these levels, then it's going to go back all the way up. Well, it gave a little bit of a move, and then it kind of came back down. It's like these are these type of sluggish type moves where it's just like, ugh. That's why it's best to trade the leaders, right? So let's try it right here. Something to keep an eye on. Possible 15 order tomorrow, but the options trade a little funky on it. Wendy, ACAM, Uber, and STNE. Yep. Wow, ACAM, Akamai. Very, very nice. Very bullish here. I mean, totally channeling. Right, a little breakout here, a little breakdown there, but it's mostly following the kind of this type channel type stuff. And then look at that, kind of working its way up. Possible move up to 95, but just be careful. Gosh, just seems a little extended there, not a lot of volume. Right, so just be careful with that. Uber. One of my friends says this thing's going to go up. He's ready for it. So let's see. Yeah, nice minor pivot breakout. Closed right at that level, so it could start to hold this. As long as it holds here, this 32.50-ish, right? As long as it holds today's close, right? It could start to work its way back up. So we'll see. We'll see. It got a little bit of a rally today, I think, on Lyft. Some bad Lyft news or something like that, but yeah. So it is primed to do so. I would say if it gets over today's highs, maybe give it, we could give it a shot. STNE, maybe like a call spread or something. Stone Co, Steve Austin. Let's see. So yeah, this is looking good. Pretty strong right here. We can even remove that here. We could probably do it a little bit further out here. That level right there. Okay, good. So there's your minor pivot. Got over today, and it held it pretty well. So look for a little consolidation. Not a huge amount of volume coming in, but nice moves. See if we can push up. See how it holds that. If we can get over that 37 level. Good stuff. Akshay, how's it going? Good evening. UNH. Apparently saying UNH opens up Siri. So UNH sounds like, maybe I said hey actually, I'm not sure, but anyway, yeah, so it's kind of working on this thing. So with UNH, yeah, nice move today. It's holding this level pretty well, that 227 level. Kind of this little pivot right here is the key. That's 235, is kind of key for UNH. Just keep an eye on that one. Wendy, if I have time, Coop and GS. For my friend on the other side of the planet, you got it. Yeah, so nice move today on Koopa. Kind of a gap and go type stuff. Let's take a look here at the chart. So yesterday was really, really tricky with it. Right, here's all the pre-market levels. Kind of broke out of those levels right there and gave a big push up. Right, so but this is very momentum move, very tough to catch, and then no follow through on it. Right, so it kind of actually came back down the next day, which is kind of annoying. But today, got a little follow through to the downside. One more test, higher lows, kept working its way up. So it continued to hold a couple of those key levels, right? So that 148.90 was its prior all-time high. So you can see here how it held it. It's like, oh, drop below it, tested it again, back down, got through it again, retested, and then back up. So kind of tricky type stuff here. It could be a little 2B reversal off of that. You might get some more follow through to the upside on it. So, or it might just kind of consolidate for a while. I mean, last time you had a couple big moves and then down, big moves here, chop. So just be careful up here. It's in new price territory. So something to think about. And then GS. Yeah, big move, big pop today. Holding a lot of those levels nicely. As long as it holds those, and doesn't try to fill this gap, right? It could start to work its way back up to its little earnings move up here. Good stuff. Mokshi Adananda, how's it going? Let's take a look at Snap. Yeah, so Snap, we got everybody, every time I look, it's like, oh, Snap's really bullish. Oh, back down. Snap's really bullish. Oh, back down. Snap's really bullish. Oh, back down. Looks like we do have a double inside day, though, on Snap. High here. Yeah. So double inside day on Snap. So something to take a look at as well. I'm going to put that on the good one. I'm going to put that on the game plan for tomorrow. Let's take a look. Let me just type that in there. Nice one on Snap. So if it gaps up, could reverse. If it gaps down, could reverse to the upside. If it's in the middle, it will use the VWAP as a guide for a potential breakout. Alfredo, what's happening? DK, yeah, let's take a look. Delic US Holdings, cool. Well, yeah, it's starting to do some pretty good stuff here. I like the little 1, 2. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests of this low with recent here, kind of W bottom right here. So, so it might be ready. Might be ready. It's starting to work its way up. Next level is that 37.35 for it to try to get above. So that could be interesting. Brian, what's happening? AMD. My pleasure. We'll take a look. Yeah, so guys, AMD, very interesting stuff. Let's go to the weekly chart real quick. One inside week, double inside week, triple inside week, and it's back within that range too. So I mean, AMD is really consolidating here, guys. It's like this, triangle type pattern. I mean, it's gonna be moving pretty soon, right? So from expansion always comes from contraction, right? So it's just keep an eye on AMD. It has a good chance of moving. We'll look at the real quick. Look at the straddles. If you look at the Septembers right now, the why do I have 4 on here? Oh, give it 1 second here to load up. It's all. So I had to reload. It's still got Amazon in here too. Give it a second. Let's see. See if this new computer can handle this. Just want to look at some options. There they are. Oh, performance detected. That's probably a Thinkorswim error. Let's leave it at that. Okay, let's see. So, wow, lots of options on there. Oh, this is Amazon? Oh, it's not linked. That's why it took so long. Because there's a lot of options on Amazon. Okay, yeah, so right now, I mean, these, the September straddles. Oh, I'm missing all my stuff. I need to put the John's option stuff. There we go. I was like, this doesn't look right. Okay, so there you go. So if you buy a straddle on this thing, right? I mean, you just add the two together. It's about $2, $2.20. So the real question is, do you think by September, right? By a couple weeks, September 20th, do you think this thing's gonna move $2 directionally one way or the other? You gotta think it might, right? It's almost like a quadruple inside week. Pretty amazing stuff. So, directionally which way it's gonna go, I mean, who knows? But I think it's ready to move, and this compression here is very, very interesting. So, good stuff, Matt. My pleasure. Dennis, SKT. Let's take a look. SKT. Tanger Outlets. Let's take a look. almost looks like a morning star reversal, doesn't it? Just didn't quite gap below this bar, but that still looks pretty good there, right? I do like this bottoming tail right here off of the lower Bollinger Band. Nice green bar today. So let's keep an eye on this one and see what it's got. See what it's got up its sleeve. It looks like it could move a couple points, maybe try to work its way up to the mid Bollinger Band. So very very interesting there. I do like the oversold nature too of the RSI. That's on the weekly, and then let's see here on the daily. Let's go to the daily chart here. See how that looks. Daily candle, interesting. Cloud here. I mean, obviously it's been trending down. Kind of a bump, type stuff here. So yeah, just see if we can consolidate. If we can get over this level, look for a minor pivot. Try to work its way out of like these downward trend lines. Got to go to the outlet stores, right? They have Harvey Baba. Let's take a look. So anybody who follows the newsletter, this is our trade of the week idea today. Really impressive move, and it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. It's just a matter of taking a position when it gives you a shooting star here like this. But really, I mean, this is kind of what I was thinking. I was like, this week, I was like, we might have a move, a little pullback, right? Because Sunday, right, there was some like negative trade talk news and all that stuff. I was like, if we could catch a pullback on this thing, I bet you they'll come up with some good trade deal stuff this week, and it'll go. It just was very, very difficult to find entry today, but it did get a nice move on it, nice gap up today. So the impressive stuff here is it got over these levels, right? The next level is right here. This is your gap and go 3 level, right? This is kind of a key level right here that we looked at recently. And so if we get over that level, then we could, we really could see a continuation there. So always tricky with Baba, but it did exactly what I thought it was going to do this week. So Ukshiyadananda, let's take a look. True. Little TransUnion action right here. Wow, really choppy stuff. I wouldn't mess with this thing. It is kind of doing like an ascending triangle, and that's another reason I wouldn't mess with it either, right? So it's kind of doing this, right? I mean, and this, right? These have a very low breakout rate, right? The 38% chance of breaking out on this thing, so better chance of it breaking down, right? So just be careful of that. Okay, session. Never seen you trade spreads. Exciting. Yeah, I mean, I've done them at McDonald's, and I used to do them all the time, and it's I prefer just trading the regulars. But if you're in a risky situation, you don't really want to put on a position. You can put on a spread and be like, hopefully, it just kind of breaks through my level in the next such number of days. This way, you don't have to worry about the theta. So, Regini, how's it going? PLNT, little Planet Fitness there. Wow, nasty. I don't know what to say, except that's pretty awful. It had a nice move here, right? Big move up. This is going to go on the short radar tomorrow. Goodness gracious. Nasty move. Let's see. Yeah, Amazon looks good. Cool. So that looks pretty scary there. MO. Lots of vaping has been all over the news, some bad vaping stuff. So I just be careful with this one. If it's on your short radar, it's got dividends coming up, so it could continue to work its way down. We had an old channel down there too, so looks pretty bearish as well. And then XOP, oil and gas, yeah. Trying here, and kind of tough, a little downtrendy. It's still kind of bearish until proven otherwise, so it's got some work to do. It's got some cloud above. I mean, really, it's got to get over this 25 level to really kind of get going again. Couple bearish ones, Virginia, but that's cool. That's a little different side of things. Harvey, no problem, my pleasure. JK, what's happening? Nike, Team, and Coop. I think we looked at Coop a little bit ago. But yeah, Nike. Yeah, wow, big moves up. Boom, boom, boom. That's 3 gaps in a row. That's crazy. Nike's amazing. It came out of nowhere. Right at the cloud. So it is touching a kind of a macro pitchfork level here. This is something that we use, right? It's kind of a geometric level that we like to use. I mean, it was so nasty to trade it here. I mean, I was like into like some Elliott wave. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna figure this out. Then it just going up, right? Breaks out of the clouds, yeah. right? So yeah, so it kind of gapped over the cloud here too, left some guess below, but it is kind of in some resistance right here, right? And then it's got to get over these kind of 90s level. So just be careful with that. But it is, definitely has had a bullish move. Team. Okay, yeah, came back down. Came back down to the through the cloud. Nice hammer here at the pitchfork level. Yeah, so this could get a little juice to it, a little move, and then try to work its way out of the cloud. I do like this. So team is actually looking pretty interesting. Might even add that to the bullish radar as well. A little something different. I like it. And then Coop. Coupa, we just looked at this a little bit ago. Yeah, big move, right? Couldn't hold it, but then today, held it again. So my guess probably a little more consolidate. It'll probably consolidate for a little bit, but yeah, it could get some upgrades, more upgrades, and start moving up. So Adam, what's happening? Lulu, yeah, earnings beat all-time highs. Thanks for mentioning that. Wanted to bring that up. It's definitely going to be on the 15 orb list for tomorrow for sure. After hours, what's our level 2 looking like right here? Yeah, 196. Yeah. So definite gap and go potential on Lulu tomorrow. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that for sure. Nice call out on that. Well, good. All right, guys. Well, awesome stuff. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Be sure to check out all the links in the description there. Real excited, guys. Okay, so if you're new here, definitely subscribe to us on YouTube. We do this every market night. We go over, charts and, we do different, technical ideas. Like this week, we talked about Jesse Livermore and all that stuff. And sometimes we have special guests. And so this weekend, this Sunday at 8 p.m., we have special guest, Dr. Brett Steenbarger, who is an expert at trader psychology. So this is going to be the first time in this whole series, other than just kind of some chats on the side and some side conversations about mentality and psychology, is we're going to have an actual discussion on this. It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited to have him on the show, and so stay tuned. So Sunday night at 8 p.m. So we're going to have Dr. Brett Steenbarger on here. It's going to be awesome. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to tweet out when we're done. I'm going to tweet out, start tweeting out some ads on it and everything like that. So DC4 wow. Yeah, this should be cool. It's gonna be good stuff. So, we'll probably, do a little discussion. You might have like a PowerPoint or something like that, and then we might not do chart requests Sunday night. It depends on him, and so it depends on what he wants to do. And so, but we might do like kind of questions. So if you guys have, hey, like, how do I deal with like, why do I always get upset so much? He might have like some kind of intuition and stuff like that, or experience and clinical, methods. So I'm really excited about it. It should be pretty fun. So good stuff. So looking forward to that. So, all right, guys. Yeah, Eastern time's at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you're West Coast, what is that? 5 p.m. So on Sunday night. So it's good stuff. Really looking forward to it, guys. Hope everybody has a great rest of your evening. Enjoy doing the chart requests. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thank you for your support. And remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.